that actually it's brought me round back to why I became a Christian and started following that and believing it. I was getting really interested. Sorry, it keeps cutting out. I must be going through a bad area. But I was getting balls deep into AI and looking at it thinking, wow, we're creating AI here. We're creating a super intelligence. And that just got me thinking, well, if we can do it, if we can give birth to AI, super intelligence, then what's stopping us from being created by super intelligence and intelligence above us? I don't know. But like this idea, the creator obviously came about then because of AI, and I was like, started thinking, and then I started thinking about like the Matrix and all like films like Dune and Star Wars and things like that, where there's always this story of the Messiah is going to come, and it's as part of the old scriptures, like how the Bible is and Jesus and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, when you watch films like and it's really weird how I come back to Christianity in this full loop after watching things like the Matrix and that, and thinking, well, if there's things like AI, and then you come into like simulation theory with what people believe that we're actually in a simulation and it's all code and we're part of a simulation, like an AI that's realised that we're conscious, and all this is created by another supreme, and you keep going back and back, and maybe that was created by something, then maybe that was created by something, and maybe that was created by something. Surely to God there has got to be a starting point of the first thing that created the first living simulation that just kept on creating another simulation within a simulation, like how we have created Grand Theft Auto, and that's a world inside a computer, and eventually these characters in these games are going to have AI, and they're going to become aware and conscious, and they don't know what's on the outside of what's created it, and maybe one day they will figure out what's created it and have these same dilemmas that we're having. And I just thought, well, there's got to be a creator. And then I got into like the old native Indian spirituality of there being a creator, and it's like the sun and the universe and all that, and I got into all that. And then I just thought, the logical conclusion for me is there's got, if you keep going back and back and back, there's got to be one God, one creator that started it all. That's how I believe it. Whatever you want to call that. I don't believe it's a man with a beard on a cloud with a harp. I don't know what it is. Light, love, consciousness, everything that can kind of fabricate light, love and consciousness. Something that lives outside the realm of everything we know, outside the realm of mathematics and physics and whatever. Something that's beyond our comprehension, you know. That's God. And I thought, like, with like the Matrix guy, why is it so out of this possibility then that, like with Neo in the Matrix, that for us mere simple organisms on Earth that are maybe living wrong in the eyes of God. Now, how would God need to speak to us that's got so much bandwidth for vision and so much bandwidth to hear? Like, you can only hear within certain frequencies, you can only see certain frequencies, fill in the other blanks of the senses that we're missing that we can't comprehend like other animals can. What would God need to do to communicate to us? And what would be so out of the realms of possibility, like a simulation, like Grand Theft Auto, like code that we do, how we could just create a God mode character that you put out into this simulation that's there to communicate to everybody in a format that we can understand? What would saw out the realms of possibility that Jesus isn't that avatar that's been created by God, sent to us, but created in what way? How could it be created? It has to be born, because it has to be a human for us to believe and listen and all that sort of stuff. So what's out the realms of possibility that can't happen? And when we say, okay, it happened 2,000 years ago, why can't it happen now? And you think, well, in the grand scheme of things, 2,000 years is a nothing. It's nothing in the grand scheme of how long the universe has been going on. So what's saying it's not going to happen again? Maybe we're at a point with all the shit that's going on with our politicians and the world leaders, who, in my opinion, seem to be influenced by the devil, doing all this stuff, bombing each other and going to wars and taking all the money that they can off people, and just the corruption that's going on. What's saying there isn't going to be a point where it is going to happen? Or what's saying to the point that we are experiencing end times? And when they say end times, and we are all going to be blown to smithereens, or the world's going to end, that we do end up in this place that they're called heaven, and they are going to judge you then, saying maybe all this is a testing ground for us, this planet that we're living on now, to say actually there is this place above your mere mortal existence, and all this is just a test. And you know what, your testing is based on what you do on this planet, and you are going to either end up in this heaven, that you've earned it, that you're actually going to be capable of living in this place without corrupting it and being an absolute arsehole in this other place, this heaven. Or actually, no, you can go and fuck off and go to hell. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? Because this is the kind of stuff that maybe drives you, and maybe you want to be part of like this dark, horrible place, or maybe you want to be place of peace. Maybe this is just a testing ground for that. I don't know. But this is what I'm saying about how I've come round to the idea of God and living a fulfilled, happy life. And it all came from the belief in the technological, and it's kind of reversed back on itself and gone, actually, maybe there is something in all these Bible teachings that have been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Maybe there is something to it that we just think we're that clever that it's all just ridiculous and stupid. Maybe it is part of this simulation that only actually that this is the way that they've been able to explain it in these terms for us to try and comprehend it. So I just wanted to end on that I haven't always been a believer of God. I've always, in my heart of hearts, thought that there is something out there that's beyond us that we can't comprehend, and we'd be naive to think that we could. And I just think it's a shame if you denounce all that off the back of what? My 40 years on this world, that I ain't got a bloody clue what's going on. Even with all the scientific endeavours over the last couple of 100 years, how can you say that we know, when we know, for one thing we do know for a fact is with science, is that every time we think we know something, it gets proven not to be the case and something else comes out, and then that becomes the new norm. And I've just got a feeling that it's all just going to revert back onto itself when AI does finally come into play properly, and then maybe AI can actually explain to us a bit better or whatever. So I don't know, but all I'm saying is that I've got enough of an open mind not to ridicule people, and as long as someone's beliefs do not impact on others' freedoms and others' lives and do not harm others, I am okay with it. And I think that that's what Jesus was trying to communicate in his teachings, and not necessarily throwing yourself at the feet of a priest, or I don't believe that they are the key holders, and I don't think that you should believe that they're the key holders. And anyone that tries to make you feel intimidated or make you try and convert to their belief system, that's not the right way either. So I want to try and inject that kind of positive outlook for people and say, you know what, you've got the power within yourself to do great things and to try and bring everybody up around you, but without controlling them or turning it into a cult or using it as a control mechanism, or making people feel guilty and being manipulative as well and doing all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I hope that if this message is getting out to anyone, that's where I'm coming from with my version of Christianity. And if that's not good enough for people, then okay, maybe I'll be judged when that day comes. But all I'm trying to do is do the right thing for myself, for my family, show up to work, try and offer my services, try and act in good faith, try and control my temptations, my urges, my demons. You could call them your demons, couldn't you? So all this sort of stuff, I believe, has significance, and the Bible tries to teach these in a way that everybody can understand, and it might not have to be taken as literally as people say that they are. And I don't believe in all this ritual, but everybody can have their own ritual, and as long as it gets you in that space of internal reflection and connection with the source, your God, whatever it is that you want, then that's it. I don't think there is such thing as blasphemy, and I don't think that God or Jesus would be condemning you to a life of pain and torture for having a belief system that didn't hurt other people. And there we go. So I'll leave it at that then. See you later.